Hi guys, in this video I go over the abstract keyword in Java. I explain what an abstract class is and what an abstract method is. Here I have a class named A, and I add a method to it named method A. It simply outputs a statement showing method A. Now in the main I can create an object of that class A, and on that object I can call the method A. Now running this will simply output method A when the method was called. Now let's look into an abstract class. An abstract class is created simply by adding the abstract keyword in front of the class keyword. When I just added this, we now get a compile error here. Cannot instantiate type A. The reason for this is that we cannot create instances of any abstract class. So we can no longer create an object of this class. So here, A is abstract, right? We cannot create an instance of this. Now, let's say I have a subclass called B. And for this subclass, to make it a subclass, I make sure it extends A. And I can still create an object of B. It inherits from a subclass A and inherits the methods. So I can call method A on it. This all works fine. So I can still create any instances of the subclass. I just cannot create instances of the exact class A that is abstract. Now let's take a look at abstract methods. So in the abstract class, I create an abstract method by adding the abstract keyword in front of the return type. It can also be in front of the access modifier, but here I call this method B. And abstract methods always have a semicolon. So abstract methods don't have a method body. They only have a method signature. That's why they are abstract. Notice that when I just added the abstract keyword to the method, I now get a compile error for the subclass. Here the error shows that type B must implement the inherited abstract method B. Because it is not defined here, it must be defined in class B. So an abstract class is a class that we cannot create instances of, and typically, but not always, an abstract class is abstract because it's partially defined. That means that one or multiple methods, or potentially all methods, are abstract. Now, abstract means that we don't know exactly how this method works for this class, but we would know how it works for a subclass. For example, if A would be a class animal, we may not know how an animal moves from A to B. But when we create a subclass such as dog, we know how a dog walks. When we create a subclass named fish, we know that a fish swims. So there are different ways how this would be implemented. And for a class animal, we don't have a generic way. That would be an example where we would make the class abstract. Now here with B, we have two options. We can either implement this method, or we could make class B also abstract, right? And it inherits the method A, it inherits B, so it has at least one abstract method, and so we can make class B abstract. The other option is that we implement this method. Typically, when we implement a method, we add the add override annotation. And here I output implemented method B. So on my object B, I can now call the method, and I can call it because it is defined, right? Now let's run this. And here we see we call the implemented method B. It was not implemented in A, but now it was implemented in B. So to recap, an abstract class can have 0 to any number of abstract methods, but it does not have to have an abstract method. We cannot create any instances of an abstract class. And for subclasses of an abstract class, they either have to be abstract as well, or they would have to implement all the abstract methods. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.